All right, guys, we're back on this awesome rainy day, making a mess. Mold chop's all crapped out, so I picked up this D-Walt. Got decent reviews online. We'll see if it lasts as long as the old Rigid, but we're in the middle of cutting all the tubing out for a front end loader for the 318. This 318 specifically. I've got most of the parts cut out for the subframe. We've got some stuff over at the fab shop that got cut out on the plasma table. All the brackets and stuff. I'm gonna swing by there tomorrow and pick all that stuff up. So yeah, just chopping away at well, this 2.5 here. I think I might have one more piece of 2.5 to cut, and then I can jump over to the 2-inch and cut the upper arms. And then I think I'll start assembling the subframe. So, all right, so I beveled some edges on here just to get a little better penetration. They're not perfect. I never claimed to be a welder fabricator, but anyways, this is a little less than half a degree off. And this one is about a degree off. So I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, I've got them both kind of jigged up here. I'm gonna try to give this one a little persuading with a big hammer and try to knock it down that 1 degree. And it's not super critical, the angle of that, but I do want them to match as closely as possible. That way I don't have problems with the arms lining up on each side. So I don't really have a great place that I can put this other than right here. All right. Let's see. We'll lightly tap it with our smallest hammer. This over here so I don't mess it up too much hitting on it. Don't look half bad. We got 50.6 close, 50.5. I don't know if it's worth 50.7, 0.6, 0.7. Maybe just a little love tap. 0.4, 50.4. Saying 50.5, 50.4, that's it. We're gonna burn that sucker in. No second chances on that one. All right. Give her a nice tack on the top. I say burn in. I'm not gonna burn them in just yet. I'm gonna try to get everything tacked and just make sure everything jives pretty well. And then I'm gonna wait till I get my plates, my frame plates, and then I'll tack everything together, make sure it fits, and then I'll burn everything in real good. I'm not sure how this is gonna pick up on the camera, but I guess we'll find out. Don't necessarily need these guys in the way, at least not this one. Really, neither of them. If anyone's wondering, this is just some wood clamps that I bought. It had some kind of L bracket on the bottom. I just cut it off and welded a 1/2-inch nut to it. I drilled and tapped this table with hundreds of 1/2-inch threaded holes. Just for stuff like this, or just bolting things down to the table. That way, if you're welding on something, you can jig it up the way you need. It can be solid. So, anyways, let's burn something in real quick. A little tack weld. that's looking pretty good for a jerry rigging fella like myself. All right, next we got the main cross beam on the subframe. We're gonna mark 1/4 inch in on each side. I hate this tape because you can't really read it. Just the way the end is crimped on it. So I'll just do this. I'll go to 1 inch. Make us a little mark with this scribe. And we'll come like this. And we'll do the same on the other side. Just right. Those make 1/4. So next, these guys are gonna go just like that. 1/4 inch in. And we'll have to get them all squared up. And I'm gonna have to find something to put under here to support this. And then we're gonna have these brackets. We'll cut this stuff off. They're gonna go underneath. It's kind of a brace. Of course, they'll have to be 1/4 inch in as well, so I may just go ahead and clean all this stuff up and weld these on first. That way this is a good bead between these two pieces. And I've got room for a good bead there as well. So I'll get all this cleaned up first. All right, so I'm gonna knock this off on the grinder real quick. I've got 2 of these. Let's clear this off. It's not really needed on there, so let's do that real quick. And then we can work on getting them welded onto the main beam. Get this stuff out of the way, naturally. Everything cleaned up. I got my 1/4 inch remarked on the end. I've got my gusset set in place. Got 2 magnets holding it because this was the end of a piece and it's not cut perfectly, but it'll leave me a nice little gap to fill in with some weld. Although it's just a gusset, it's not super imperative, but we'll try to do it as right as we can. All right, put a couple tacks on there, make sure it's good. If it is, we'll probably be all right to burn that in. Yeah, somewhere. Get the other side set up. Throw a couple tack welds on that. Gas is on this time. And the metal's clean in all the areas you need to be. Got it set up 1/4 inch in. Double magnet to keep everything even. So. Set that up back here to support this. And got that set up. Exactly 1/4 inch. Thicker. Dead on 1/4. Seems to be correct. It's not jiving on this side though. That's us over here. And now we're definitely looking straight, but we're not dead on our 1/4. Looks to be us there. And I kind of beveled this a little bit, which kind of gives me a rounded corner, so it's hard to judge exactly where to measure off of to know if I'll be able to match both sides up perfectly. Other than a little high spot in the actual tubing right here, which I can kind of feel it and see it. It looks like we are dead on. Let's see. I think so. anything, but man, that looks perfect. So what we'll do to keep our perfection in line is maybe this one will reach. Wish this was, I got this dead center. Nothing's gonna really reach how I want it to. Can do like this, I suppose. Check everything again. It's got some pressure on it. And this is only as good as the cut is here. So it's either crooked, perfectly crooked with the cut, or the cut happens to be perfectly straight and the tube is perfectly straight as well. I'm gonna hope for the second one. I'm gonna assume that I did a decent enough job. All right. We're looking pretty good here. I think we can throw a couple tack welds on that. It's gonna get noisy real quick. Just for a little idea of what I'm looking at on this end. I'm just riding this against here and trying to make sure that I don't have any points that bind up. So looking at that, and then also putting this here, and it's very hard to catch this perfectly in camera, but just kind of checking this gap between the square and the metal. As far as I can tell, it looks pretty good, so I think we'll be all right. Couple tacks. Now I can go check this out on the mower, just kind of a very crude mock-up. All right, I got it kind of shinned and mostly centered up. So it'll sit something like that. And this is good that it clears my little stack. Something along those lines. We've got some plates that go here, and they're gonna have a mount for the lift ram. And where else do we have some plates? We have some plates for the arm up here. That'll be the second mount for the lift ram. And of course the frame plates down there. And all kind of little hydraulic cylinder eyelets and all that good stuff. So this is a big start considering I bought the hydraulic cylinders, oh, I don't know, probably 2 years ago. So finally we're making some headway on some projects in the shop. This is a much needed one. I'm not even bothering building a bucket for it. I'm just building a set of forks. I might build a bucket later, but man, the forks are going to be a back saver. So I'm super pumped to have this, and it's going to operate off of this is going to be down up, and this is going to be forks tilt back, forks tilt down, and they'll function off the same set of ports up here for the 4-way blade. And I'm going to buy 4 sets of male females. That way I have 4 males for the loader and 4 new females for the front of the 332, because these are pretty old and crusty. So I know as soon as I start using them with this, we're gonna have issues with leaks. As a matter of fact, one of them is really kind of leaking already. It's sort of seeping. So all right, we got this side supported, we got this side jigged up, clamped down, squared. We got our 1/4-inch space, and that's to account for the 1/4-inch plate that's going here, just to keep everything even. So I think that's about as square and plumb as we're gonna get. So we'll throw a couple tack welds on this as well, and then go set it back in front of the tractor again and get it centered up and see how it looks. All right, day 2. Picked up all the brackets from my buddy's fab shop. These things came out awesome. I was gonna do this out of 3/16, but he suggested just getting a 4-foot by 4-foot piece of quarter, and been able to get this and all of these parts out of one piece of metal. These 2 mounting brackets are out of 3/8. So now we got a few more pieces of the puzzle we can work with. So let's make something up on the table. I burned in a couple welds, just to kind of get everything held together a little better. A couple of holes to fill in. There's gonna be a plate going over this. Got this side done as well. I didn't do anything here other than some tack welds yet. I've got a couple things welded on this end, just trying to let everything cool down so we don't have too much movement in the metal from overheating it. So just doing 2 inches of welding on one end, 2 inches of welding on the other end, and then letting it cool down. Eats up a lot of time, but the alternative is mounting this and one side slightly being pulled forward and something not lining up properly on the frame. So better just take your time and go slow with it. Ain't perfectly straight, but it's a decent little caterpillar there. Get this out of here. Just got to get this welder fine-tuned. I'm running a different size wire, so than I normally do. This one had a little too much heat, so I'm gonna have to grind that down and go back over it. Probably be all right, but yeah, fix it while it's easy to fix. Clean that up a little bit. Yep, a few more welds to do, and then I can start welding on the cap plates for the side here, which is what the bottom side of the hydraulic cylinders are gonna mount to. All right, we got our frame plates centered up. I've got them kind of wedged out just a little bit with some washers. I'm going an 1/8 inch wider than the frame, so I have a little bit of wiggle room if these plates heat up and squeeze in. This is 1/2 degree off. It's verified by quite a few other levels, so we'll go ahead and burn that in, or at least tack it, and then we'll try it out, make sure it fits, and then we'll burn it in. All right, we got the frame plates tacked on a few places. Luckily, I held on to this piece of 5/8 rod because I forgot to buy some of that. It's just a scrap piece from a job that I found and decided to throw in the truck, and it wound up in the scrap metal pile. So this is why you hang on to scrap metal. So I'm just gonna cut this here for now, something like that. And that way I can bring a little bit back, test fit it, make sure it works. Get a couple bolts. Might go run to Tractor Supply real quick. I'm not sure if I have anything that's gonna fit that or not. I'll find out. But anyways, let's get this mocked up on the tractor. All right, looks like that's a pretty good fit. I'll throw a level in here, make sure everything is actually square. It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks crooked in the video, but we'll see. It could be, I don't know. I'll double check everything before we burn anything in. But yep, this is big steps, big steps. This is awesome. It does look a little crooked. Let's grab a level and see. Let's see what we got here. We got, I should grab one of my other ones that is actually, well, I mean, we know it's 1/2 degree off, so of course, which direction? I verified that it was 1/2 degree off sideways. I'll grab a different level and we'll double check all that and make sure before we burn anything in. Also, my bolts on the side up here are not the correct size, so could be something with that. Could be something with these not being level as well. Or I say this. I mean, technically, it's off. Could be something with the frame that I don't know about. I don't know. We'll look into it a little more. All right, probably gonna shut it down for the evening. Got a couple welds burned in on these main frame plates. I didn't have any 1x2, but I did have a piece of 1/2 inch by 2 C-channel, so I'm gonna buzz this down on both sides, and that should suffice. I didn't weld this in yet because there's a little bit of play, and I'd rather have this sitting on the tractor, get it perfectly level, and if I have to make any adjustments, the majority of the weight sits on this 5/8 rod here, so I'll be able to make, you know, a little bit of adjustment on that and then weld it in. So we'll do one more test fit, and that'll probably be it for this first portion of the video. The next video I'll make will be cutting out that 2x2 for the arms and getting these plates welded up here. And then the bracket for what would be a bucket, or in this case, a set of forks for me. yeah, I imagine this will be 3 or 4 videos before it's all said and done, painted and getting used. So, yeah, anyways, that's pretty much the end of this.